Hello, and a very, very warm welcome to this yoga video with me, Carly. And we are doing a challenging pose again today. So the last two videos, we've done some challenging poses. We did a half moon pose where we were standing and we were on one leg to our sides. We did crow pose where we had to balance on our hands. So both were really challenging. So today we are leading up to do another challenging pose, and this one is a side plank. So we've done plank, haven't we? Especially when we've done our sun salutations, we go into plank, which is quite challenging in itself, isn't it? Holding plank, it uses a lot of our strength and our core and our strong tummy muscles. So side plank is a little bit more challenging than a plank even. So yeah, we're going to work our way up to side plank. So that's exciting. It's a tricky pose. Again, using our strength, using our balance, and using our focus and concentration. And if we can improve those things, like I said many times before, because I really believe this, that if we can do that on our yoga mats, we're more able to do that in our everyday lives. We can feel strong, we can feel balanced, and we can focus. And all those things are really important in life, especially when we're facing tricky situations or challenges in our life. If we can remain strong, if we can be balanced in ourselves, and we can be focused and concentrate, then we're going to deal with our difficulties a lot better. All right, so as ever, we will warm our bodies up by doing the sun salutation. So that move starts to move our bodies, get ourselves limbered up. We'll then do our little movements, warm-up movements of cat-cow and some of our other warm-ups. We'll do a few balance poses to get us in the mood for focusing and balancing. And then we will get to our challenging pose number 3. All right, so join me on the mat for our sun salutations. Okay, so I'll just make sure you're going to be able to see me standing up. Fantastic. So we've done this so many times. So the thing with yoga and life is not to just get complacent. That I've done sun salutations so much now. I know exactly what I'm doing. Just really try, really feel the movements, really make an effort. Don't just because you've done it a few times say, oh, I know this, and rush through it. We're going to do it as if it's the first time and really do it really well. Okay, and concentrate. Okay, so coming into our Tadasana pose. So your hands are by your sides. You're feeling strong and steady like a mountain. This is mountain pose, Tadasana. And breathing in, we stretch up, look up. Breathing out, bend down to tickle your toes. And then you can put your fingertips in front of you, coming up right onto the tips of the fingers, really straightening the spine, looking forwards. Breathing out to come into your first downward facing dog. And because it is the first one, maybe your knees are going to be a bit bent. You're going to have your knees slightly bent, maybe on your tiptoes. And we can also walk out our feet here. Good. And really next breathing, coming forward to plank, holding it. Try to be nice and straight. Don't bend down too much. Rigid and strong. And then breathing out, knees, feet down, and down onto your chest. And breathing in to come up to upward facing dog, pointing your toes, looking up, really push into your hands. And breathing out, downward facing dog. And again, walking the dog, it's called. We can bend our legs, bend, coming up onto the one tiptoe at a time. And from here, look between your hands and a huge step forward into a lunge. Good. And it's nice to hold the lunge. Maybe come up onto your tiptoes. This is jaguar pose. This is quite nice to do. So come right up onto your tips of your fingers and bring your chest up. You're like a jaguar about to pounce. And then you can put your fingers down and step forward. Good, and on the next in-breath, breathe in, stretch up, look up, breathing out to mountain and Tadasana, which is Tadasana pose. Don't fiddle, just stay still for a moment, and then you can fiddle and get yourself set up for the next side. Right, standing tall and strong, breathing in to stretch up, look up. Breathing out, bend forward, coming to tickle your toes, fingertips ahead of you, looking up, nice flat back. Breathing out, downward facing dog. And having a nice stretch here, bending one knee at a time. And coming forward to plank pose on the next in-breath, holding it straight and strong. And then knees down, toes down, chest down. It's nice and slowly. Breathing in, upward facing dog, pushing into the hands, looking up. And breathing out, back to your downward facing dog. Walking it out. Good. And when you're ready, look in between your hands. Big step forward into your lunge. Coming up onto the fingertips. This is Jaguar pose. So you're trying to lift your chest. So normally in the lunge, we've got our hands flat and our chest is down. For Jaguar, tips of your fingers, chest up high, looking up and looking forward. And then back foot forward. And holding the elbows here for a little rock side to side. Deep breaths in and out. And as you breathe in, rolling up, stretching up. Breathing out, hands to your sides. And just standing still for a moment. Good, nice. All right, so I'm going to tip you back down to see the mat. We are going to do our cat-cow, which we're getting good at because, as I said before, it's so good for warming up our spines, and it's really important to take care of our spines. So come on to all fours. We know what we're doing now, but again, each time we do something, just because we've done it before, doesn't mean we don't try each time and do our best. Okay, so get yourself set up in your tabletop, nice steady base. So wrists are below your shoulders and your knees are below your hips. And you've got a nice straight line there. Okay, so breathe in, dropping the belly, but still do suck in the belly button, even though you're dropping down to the floor, but arching your spine, looking up ahead of you. Breathing out, pushing into the hand, rolling the spine, coming into a really arched back here. Cat pose. Breathe in to come to cow pose. Tilting the pelvis up, the bottom up. That's it. Breathing out. Push, push, push into cat pose. One more time of each pose. Breathing in for your cow pose. Big breath in. Breathing out into cat. From here, maybe spread your knees a little bit to push yourself back into child's pose. Hands are really stretched as far forward as you can in front of you on the mat. Forehead to the mat, to the floor. And sinking down. Child pose is such a lovely pose just to rest and reset. So after a moment of resetting and relaxing, we're going to breathe in and come to upward facing dog from here. So breathe in, come forward onto your hands, swing through and breathe in, upward facing dog. Breathe out, push back into your child's pose. One more time, breathing in, rock forward into upward facing dog. Breathe out, push back into your child's pose. Good, and using your fingers to push yourself up to seated position on your knees. And we're going to come onto our backs now. We're going to continue warming up our spine, so we'll do a little mini bridge. And then we will do happy baby and some other leg stretching. All right, so coming around, bringing your feet round and coming down onto your back. Let's do this really slowly now. Let's build up the strength in our core muscles. They're so important. They really protect our back and they give us so much strength. Right, so hands by your sides. And as you come down, you're going to roll down. And there's going to be a bit where it's really sticky and tricky and you're just going to flop, but really see if you can use your tummy muscles at that point. So start to roll down as slowly as you can. Really slowly try to keep your feet on the floor. Use those tummy muscles, switch them on, squeeze them tight. Come down slow as you can. This is the tricky bit. Hold, hold, hold. Really come down slowly. Use those muscles and come all the way down. Well done, good. Now, hugging your knees in. Giving a little rock from side to side. Good, and then just one at a time. So pulling that knee towards the armpits. Really giving it a squeeze. Marvellous. Let's do the other side. So pull up the knee to the armpits. Take some deep breaths here. And both knees together. And just for a moment, we'll come into happy baby before our bridge. So just rocking side to side in happy baby. And allowing the knees to come towards the armpits. Letting gravity just pull everything down. The weight of the arms pulls the legs down. And another little rock from side to side. Lovely. Okay, so now coming to do our little mini bridge. So put your heels as close to your bottom as you can. And then you're just going to have your palms by your side. So the palms are facing down because you can use the palms to push into the floor a little bit. So on the next in-breath, you're going to just gently peel your spine up. Roll it up on the in-breath. Come right up to the top of the spine, up to the shoulders. Hold it for a moment. And then as you breathe out, roll your spine back down the floor really slowly, feeling the vertebra hit the floor. Good. And another time. So breathing in, push into the feet and peel your spine up, up, up. Take a pause at the top, and as you breathe out, roll the spine back down. And we will do that one more time. It's so good for our spine. So breathing in, push into the floor, peel up your spine right to the top. Pause and breathe out, roll down. Good, and windscreen wiper your legs from side to side. So just flopping your legs one way and then the other, like they're windscreen wipers. Good, you might even get one knee all the way down to the floor. And then just stop that for a moment and we'll rock up. Big rock. We can do that again. So roll down and rock up. One more time, roll down, rock up. Good. So as we did before, to build up our strength, we are going to do our downward facing dog into bull, because that's a really good way of building up the strength, which we're definitely going to need for side plank today. So get yourself set up for downward facing dog. So firstly, coming into a tabletop position with a neutral spine. That's it. So getting yourself set up. And then you tuck your toes, and then you're going to push into your hands and lift your hips up toward and pushing back into the feet. So push into the feet, lift the hips, try to straighten the legs, try to get your heels onto the floor, pushing into the hands, so you're getting a nice straight spine. Good. So you're going to lift one leg up straight and strong, and you're going to tip forward into bull, trying to get your knee to your nose. So taking a deep breath in, lift up one leg. Breathing out, come forward into bull. Breathing in, kicking horse. Breathing out, come down. And we can just do a little child's pose between. Coming down, relaxing for a moment, rest and reset. Maybe even have your hands by your sides this time. And then tabletop, tucking the toes. Lifting the hips up into your downward facing dog. Big breath in, lifting the other foot now, tall, straight and strong. Breathing out into bull. Try to get that knee to the nose, hovering over your wrists. And kicking horse, back down to downward facing dog. Now from here, like I said last time, you can choose, do you want to walk your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet? Last time I walked my hands to my feet, so this time I'm going to walk my hands back to my feet. So I'm pushing, 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 come to a forward fold, taking hold of my elbows and just hanging out here. You can bend your knees, that feels quite nice as well, like a rag doll. Swaying from side to side. And when you're ready, breathing in, rolling up, stretching up, hands to your sides. Good. So just tip the screen a bit. So we're going to do a couple of balancing poses now, because like I said before, we need to do the balancing poses to get our focus and our concentration really working for when we do our challenging pose. So we are going to do tree again, because that's one of the best balancing poses there is. And then we're going to do gate pose. If you remember, it's like opening the gate And that's quite good for the pose we're going to be doing later. All right, so let's start with our tree, getting ourselves grounded, steady. And when we're ready, start to peel the foot off the floor that you want to balance with, using that standing leg to be so strong. Testing your balance, coming up as high as you can, and then just holding it for a moment. Just really use your breath and your concentration. Oh, if you fall out like I did, just come back in, it's fine. And then you can just close the eyes for a moment. I fell out, I'm a bit wobbly today. That doesn't matter, I'm going to try again. Ooh, really wobbly. You have wobbly days, that's fine. So you try to close your eyes if you found, maybe you're feeling super balanced today. Closing the eyes for a moment. Good, that's better now, I've found my balance. And then coming up and bending over to one side. Coming back to the center and coming down, knee forward, stepping down. Lovely, let's do the other side. So we're balanced on both sides. So pull all the weight into the other leg. Testing your balance. Bringing your foot all the way up if you want to, if you can. Finding the balance here. Try to close your eyes. Maybe you're more balanced on this side, maybe less. And stretch your hands up. And back down. Knee comes forward and we step down. Oh, I do like balancing. It really brings a sense of calm because you have to concentrate. You have to be in the moment. And our brains really like that. Just being in this moment and not being worrying off into the future or the past. Okay, let's do gate pose now. So with gate pose, if you remember, you bend up one knee, start to flex the foot, and you open the gate. Okay, so that's the first step. You might be here. If you want to challenge yourself, arm goes up, you put your thumb up, and ooh, I fell out there, but you're going to gaze over that to that thumb. It's really testing your balance by changing your drishti, and then come back to the middle and down. Okay, so try again if you like together. Knee comes up, find that balance, and then open up the gate. And look to your thumb. Use your breath, use your core, and feel calm and centered. And then coming out with control. Good. Let's do the other side. So bend the knee, flex the foot, open up the gate, and use your hand to put your thumb up. You can have it like that or straight, and just look at that thumb. Use your core here. Use your balance, your focus. And then come out with control, close the gate. Well done. So that has got our concentration going and our strength as well. So for our challenging pose, we're coming back down to the mat. So I will tip you this way again so you can see what I'm going to do. All right, so side plank. We're used to doing our planks. So coming down to the mat, we're used to doing our planks like this, aren't we? So we hold the plank really straight and strong. Okay, so that's a normal plank. For side plank, we are going to come onto our sides, funnily enough. And what we do is we come up. And so this is a supported side plank. So if you feel like this is enough for you, then you can stay here. If you feel like you want to challenge yourself, you come up and then you're going to try and put your other foot on top of this foot, the balancing foot. You're going to put your arm up to the sky. And one challenge is looking up to the sky, to your hand. The next challenge is to lift that leg and look at that hand. And then come down and gently put your hips down. Oh, it really is a challenge. It's a balance, it's strength, it's concentration, all those things I mentioned. So good for us. So let's try it together. Are you ready? If you want to do your modified supported plank, side plank, you come up and you put your foot behind you. You can come up onto your tiptoe if you want. Now let's try the full position. So hand, foot on top of the other one, reaching your arm up, turning to look at the hand, and if you can, lifting up the leg. And then coming down with control. We don't want to hold these poses too long because we'll get tired. So let's come into a rest and reset child pose before we turn to the other side. So calming down gently into your child's pose. Taking some deep breaths.
calming ourselves down. It can all get quite exciting when we're doing one of these poses. And just relax. Good. So I'm just going to scoot around to do the other side now. So you're going to come onto the other arm this time. So let's try the other side now. All right, so coming out with your bottom foot first. And if you want to just support yourself, have the leg behind you. But if you're going to the full pose, find your balance, use your strength. Arm up, looking up. Lift your leg if you can, hold it. And then come down gently. Oh, it's really hard, isn't it? Let's do it one more time because it's good to challenge ourselves, isn't it? I think one time's not enough. Let's do it one more time. So coming down here, if you're going to push into, use this leg to support you, that's absolutely fine. So push up and you can stay here, obviously, or coming into the full pose, lifting that arm up, looking at it. Lift a leg if you really want to, hold it for a moment, and then come out really carefully. Well done. So you did a side plank, a really, really difficult pose. It uses so much of our strength and our balance and everything. But you should feel really proud of yourself. It's really good to do these challenging poses. Just to finish off, we'll do a twist now, just to let our spines relax and let us relax before we do Shavasana. So coming down onto your back, and just for a moment, just hanging here, maybe swaying the legs a little from side to side. Letting the body just calm down, letting the heart rate return to normal. And then just lifting up the hips, plonking them over a little bit and letting the knees fall the opposite way. And looking the opposite, over the opposite shoulder. Taking some deep breaths. Really good, well done. And coming to the middle, hands by your sides. Just put your hips back to the center. Now lift them up, put them the other way. And let them flop open and looking over the other shoulder. In a little bit of a spinal twist. Twists are really, really good for us. Well done. Coming to the middle, hugging in your knees, and then rocking up to seated. Well done, guys. So we are going to go into Shavasana. Just before we do, we'll do a little very quick, nice breathing practice just to slow our heart rates down and become a little bit more centered and calm after the excitement of our challenging pose. Okay, so we're going to do, I call it petal breathing because it's a bit like the petals of a flower opening and closing. So start with your hands open and just take a nice deep breath in and out. And the next time you breathe in, closing the hands up so that the fingers touch at the end of the in-breath. Taking a pause and breathing out as the petals open, as your fingers open. Try this with your eyes closed, we'll do it twice more. Breathing in to close the fingers together. Pausing. Breathing out to open up your fingers. And again, breathing in. And breathing out. Good, well done. All right, so finding your way to Shavasana now. So come down to lying on your backs. And just have your arms out by your sides with the palms facing up. Backs of your hands on the floor, slightly away from your body. Let the feet flop open and just release any tension. So just relax. And just what we're going to do to begin with is we're just going to do a little mantra. And a mantra is we say something in our minds, and usually it will be something really positive, because the more we say positive things to ourselves, the more we believe it. So we're just going to breathe in and we say, I feel calm as we breathe in. So in your head, you just say, I feel calm, breathing in. And let it go and breathe out. On the next in-breath, you breathe in, you say, I feel relaxed. Hold it and breathe out.
And the third time you're going to breathe in, and in your mind you say, I feel happy. So breathing in, I feel happy. And hold it and just release and breathe out. Good. So as we normally do, we'll just take a quick little journey around the body to relax the whole body. And doing this is really important because we're training our focus and our concentration to be where we want it to be. And the more we can do this, then we can focus on the things we really need to when we're in our everyday life. So now I invite you to take your attention all the way down to your feet. It's as if it's all just sinking right down to the feet. And when you get to the feet, when you breathe in, give the feet a squeeze. And as you breathe out, release the feet and relax the feet. Moving to the legs, focusing on your legs, breathing in to squeeze the legs. Hold it at the top of the in-breath. Breathing out to release all the muscles of the legs. Traveling up the spine now so that we travel right up the spine to the top and we settle on our shoulders. And on the next in-breath, squeeze the shoulders up to your ears, give them a squeeze. Breathing out to release the muscles of the shoulders. And now the attention drops down our arms and lands in the hands. And just noticing the hands, any sensations in the hands. And the next time you breathe in, squeeze your hands. Hold it. And breathe out, release your hands and relax. And now we leave the hands and our attention travels up our arms, across the shoulders, and it settles in the head. Almost imagine now, as you're breathing in, you're just filling your head with a gorgeous, warm, white light. And it's just filling your mind so that it feels so calm and still. So big breath in, filling up the mind with this wonderful white light. And as you breathe in, you can squeeze the muscles in your face. And as you breathe out, release. Good. And now the attention falls on the whole body. So in the next breath, breathe in and squeeze the whole body. And breathe out, release all the muscles of your body. Well done. Release all those muscles. Good. And hopefully now your body feels relaxed, your mind feels calm and relaxed. And just notice how this all feels. And understand that this calmness is always available to us. Sometimes we forget that, but it's always there. We can always find a sense of calm, and usually it's the breath that will lead us there. And now rolling over to one side, giving your knees a squeeze. And using your hands to push yourself up to a seated position. So you're in a nice, comfortable seated position. And just finish off by taking a couple of deep belly breaths. So really breathing down into the belly, feeling it expand. And then breathe out so it deflates like a deflated balloon. One more time, deep belly breath in. And breathing out fully. So well done, you've done another challenging pose, the last of our challenging poses, which was side plank. So really well done today. And I've really enjoyed today's session. I hope you have too. And thank you so much for joining me. I feel grateful that you've joined me today. I hope you feel grateful for being able to practice your yoga. So putting your hands to, we call this Anjali Mudra, like a prayer position, breathing in. And bend forward, head to your hands. And we just say namaste, which is a way of thanking ourselves for doing yoga, thanking me for leading you. Thanking yourself mostly for giving yourself this time and having doing something that's really good for your body and your mind. So well done. And thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Have a lovely day and see you soon.